Good morning. Welcome back to another reading vlog. It has been, do they say, a hot minute since I've done one of these. Been away, been all sorts, and just haven't had a chance to do a reading vlog. But it's Friday. I've just woken up. That's a lie. I woke up about 45 minutes ago. It's 9 o'clock now. And I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. Take myself along to my newly rearranged lounge area, because we've rearranged it for the autumn winter months, and I'll talk you through what I plan on reading today and the question. It's been a long time since we've done this, and I'll introduce you to my poor tonsillitis boyfriend, who's really having a hard time of it, bless him. But yeah, first things first, tea. I know there's some Christmas mugs out. There are some Christmas mugs out. Just need the sweetness, excuse me. For David, not for me. Mug cam. I did mention Christmas mugs, but this is a winter mug. This we bought at a local craft fair, and I just love it. Look, it's glazed, and it has all of these lovely snowflakes on, and also, that's probably not the best one, but inside, the bottom of it has snowflakes as well. They're very, very nice. Hand wash only though, which is obviously lovely. Back to making tea. Emptying the dishwasher. David couldn't eat the last bit of scrambled egg I made him. So I'm eating it. Second-hand scrambled egg's not really a nice thing to eat, is it? But it's been done. Done. So yeah, there's been a rearrange. The sofa is now here, that's the edge of it. The chair's now here, the table's in front of the bookshelf. I would show you, but honestly, it's an absolute tip in here. As I mentioned before, David's got tonsillitis, and it's really hit him hard. This is day 3. He's sat there just waiting for me to stop filming so we can watch more Modern Family. This is day 3. He's on antibiotics. He went to the doctor's yesterday and got antibiotics. But they just don't seem to have touched him yet, and he's not sleeping because his tonsils hurt so much, and he's up one minute and shivering the next minute. And this all happened early hours of Tuesday morning, and we got the beginnings of Christmas out Monday evening. Did a little bit, like a few throws, a little thing there. Look at David's ill accoutrements here. But yeah, we haven't got much further than that, so it's looking a bit sad. And David's looking a bit sad. So the whole place feels a bit sad, but I'm gonna lift the mood today with a big day of reading. I've got a book that I'd really, really, really like to crack on with. And, well, it's got to be read by Sunday night because it's for my book club. And I haven't started it yet. So that's the book I'm going to pick for today. Should we go over and pick the books and then we can come back here and have a little chat? I think so. I'm also going to have a daytime bath today, which I'm very excited about. But let's go and pick the books first. So, the book is The Herd by Emily Edwards. So that's definitely coming. And then also we'll need a poem for every autumn day. We'll need the Lit Chat cards. And, guys, I've started with the Nigel Slater Christmas Chronicles reading. And I'll need to catch up with that. So let's go over. And I've got no books to add to this. This is just the current TBR. So that can stay as it is. And I'll meet you back over by the chairs. So yeah, here we are. Today I'm going to be reading The Herd by Emily Edwards. Two best friends, two opposite opinions. Try picking a side. This was my book club book for my online Facebook book club with some friends. This looks as though it's going to be pretty readable. It's 335 pages long. Two best friends, Emily and Elizabeth. There's no one called Emily in this book. Elizabeth and Bryony are the polar opposites, but their unexpected friendship has always worked. They're the best of friends and godmothers to each other's daughters because they both trust that the safety of their children is their top priority. One little secret. Little do they know that they differ over one very important issue, and when Bryony, afraid of being judged, tells what's supposed to be a harmless white lie before a child's birthday party, the consequences are more catastrophic than either of them could have imagined. Every parent's worst nightmare. So yeah, this doesn't sound like a book that I would ordinarily read, but I think these books sort of like lend to good book club discussion, and actually there's reading questions at the back, so that means that I'll be fully briefed. So I need to really crack on with this today. I'd like to at least be 100 pages in by the time we close this reading vlog. And then, as I said, I've also started reading Nigel Slater, The Christmas Chronicles. This is a beautiful, beautiful book which chronicles daily everything up until Christmas, talking about food that's in season, things that Nigel likes to do, sort of traditions and rituals, and it's just such a lovely Christmas read, and I always read it. However, I haven't read, the last time I read it was the 7th of November, then I've got the 8th of November, let's have a look. 9th of November, we got quite a lot. 10th of November, is it the 11th today, David? Just nod. Yeah. Yeah, oh it is. So I've got every day from the 7th to the 10th, so that's, well, 30 pages I've got to read of that today as well. And then we'll have our poem for the end, but let's pick the lit chat. And also, as I said, the house is a mess, and I would like to do maybe a little bit of housework today. I'm listening to the audiobook of Amy and Lan by Sadie Jones, which I'm really, really, really enjoying. I've got about 2.5 hours of that left, so maybe if I do any sort of work around the house, I'll listen to that as well. But yeah, the main priority is The Herd. But let's go, okay. So, my niece says that all the time. A visit from the Goon Squad. If your favourite English teacher were to visit your home, what book would you want them to find on your coffee table? This is a lovely question. If your favourite English teacher were to visit your home, what book would you want them to find on your coffee table? We will be answering that at the end. Oh, where's the posters? At the end of the video. Oh, that's such a lovely question. I'm going to read it one more time. If your favourite English teacher were to visit your home, what book would you want them to find on your coffee table? I'm looking forward to that because I do have a favourite English teacher. I think about her often from middle school. But I'll talk about her more later. So yeah, anyway, let's crack on with a little bit of reading. Need to get a bookmark, don't I? She's got right itchy leg. And then daytime bath. And David can get in after me, and hopefully that will... He's so poorly. I hate to see him like this. I want your tablets to start working, Bear. Yeah. So sad, isn't it? Right, I'm going to get a bookmark. It was the first one I found. It's a Persephone bookmark from The Wise Virgins by Leonard Woolf. The first line of this book: Farley County Court, December 2019. They arrive in court separately. I've read 13 pages and I'm like I suspected, this isn't one of my books. However, I didn't read the book club book for last month, so I need to read it for this month really, because it's just bad form, isn't it? to not read it twice in a row. But 30, it's just sort of full of self-satisfied women who have amazing lives, and have very rich husbands, and one of them's really scatty and does beans on toast for dinner, and the other one's really together and finds 10 minutes to make a fish pie and that sort of thing. It's also, when I was first reading it, like I said, I've only read 13 pages, but like I would have been certain that this was set in the US, and now they've just mentioned that, and also obviously both these women are beautiful, just mentioned that someone is, oh here we go. No one in Bride's friendship group understood why laid-back, crumpled Adam was dating this tall, statuesque blonde who looked Norwegian but was actually from Essex. We'll keep on, we'll keep on. Cup of tea was lovely. I've got a cat on my lap at the moment. Here she is. But I think I'll have a little bowl of cereal, and then I'll go and have a bath, daytime bath, and read a little bit more, because yeah. I mean, Sharon Horgan loved it. It put me through the emotional ringer, a genuine roller coaster that asked moral questions with beautiful drawn characters who left me in tears but also full of hope. That's quite the full... Got the full, and Louise O'Neill, she liked it too. Insightful, compassionate and nuanced. The herd is so good. We'll keep going with it, we'll keep going. I'm going to have a daytime bath and I'm very excited about it. I haven't had a daytime bath in ages. This is all good. I need to do some washing today, I think. That's all going in there. Guys, oh my God, David, this is so wet. How bad was the water spillage?
Huh?
Feel how wet this is. How bad was the water spillage? Bear in mind this has been 2 days. Feel it. What happened?
I spilled it.
Yeah, but how?
I filled it up too much.
Oh dear. Did it all come out when you got in?
As I was in, I filled it up too much.
Well, that is, I mean, I can't even use that. That is so wet. I'm going to go and get the other bath mat. And then I'm going to run the bath. Now, we're coming into Christmas bath bomb season, aren't we? But I've got 2 things to use up. Oh God, both of them are so wet. I've got bottom Muncie. And then I've got this one, which is Lord of Misrule scent. So I think I'm going to use the Lord of Misrule scent because that's David's favourite scent, it might cheer him up. And we've also got a Lord of Misrule candle that David got for his birthday. So we're going Lord of Misrule scent. And yeah, a bit more bathing time. Light a candle. What's all this tissue doing, David? Tissue in the bath that's literally fallen apart. He's a law unto himself, this lad. What's the tissue, David?
Oh, I put it in the... I didn't want it to empty. But
That is... And then you spilled water everywhere. Right, you are not allowed to do anything without running it past me first. My lord. Right, David is making me... I can't believe you stuffed the hole with tissue, yeah. and then you were surprised that there was a massive water spillage.
Yeah.
First of all, may I apologise for the state of everything in the background. Although I shouldn't apologise, it's my house, but I'm apologising to myself as well because I don't normally let it get this manky. But hey, we have, but I'm going to do something about it today. But I've just had a bath, lovely bath, David's in the bath now. And I put on my 90s school disco dress. It's this zip. I had so many tops and stuff with this zip when I was at school, when I was a little girl. And yeah, I've read over 50 pages of The Herd now. Look, I'm really not enjoying it. But I am going to persevere. The Herd, the title The Herd has come into... By the way, I should say that there probably will be spoilers when I'm talking about this book, so if you plan to read this book, then swerve it. So yeah, so look at that fluffy hair, I'm going to put it in plants. The Herd refers to herd immunity. It's a book about vaccinations. We're following two main characters, Elizabeth and Bry, I think it's pronounced, and their sort of seemingly perfect lives. And one of them has a daughter who, due to being unwell as a child, now cannot have the MMR vaccination and things like that, and her mother is about to have a birthday party for her, and she was considering sending out an email that said, please don't come along to the party if you're not vaccinated, and if you're not vaccinated, chances are my daughter's not going to be able to be friends with you, which feels dramatic, and like her husband maybe feels like it's a bit dramatic as well, but goes along with it. And then we've got her friend, so that's Elizabeth, and then her friend Bry, who we've already heard sort of referred to as a hippie and things like that. So we're going to hear more about that, I imagine. And also she's read the same article that Elizabeth's read that's made her feel very upset, and rather than feeling upset, because it is still an upsetting story about a young girl who got unwell following not having the vaccination. She's saying that it's unhelpful journalism. I don't know, like sort of selective, picking out what bits need to be reported on and stuff like that. So yeah, there's interesting themes in there, but the two women we're following and their husbands are both awful. Very much caricatures of the very like Ice Maiden, but in like running her house like an absolute like a tight ship. She runs a tight ship in her house, and then being beautiful and like other husbands coveting her and stuff. And then the sort of like hippie person who, like I said earlier, like hasn't got things together and is thinking of giving baked beans to her daughter for dinner and stuff like that. Like, yeah, this isn't a book I would normally read. I've said that already. But am I interested in enough to carry on? Like, the themes are interesting, but I just find it... And I'm not even a person who can't read books if they haven't got likeable characters, but I do feel a bit like this is going to be hard work. But again, I didn't read last month's book club book because the subject matter was just a bit ugh. So I should be reading this, really. I really should. But anyway, I'll put my hair in plaits, go and read a little bit more while David's in the bath, and then we'll potentially walk to the shop to get him some more ibuprofen, because we're out of ibuprofen now. And for lunch I've got leftover sweet and sour veg and rice. Well, I haven't got done any rice, but I will do some rice to go with it. And I don't know what David's going to want. I got him some tins of soup yesterday, so maybe a can of soup. A little bit poking out there. Yeah, and then a bit more reading this afternoon. I suppose I should just carry on with it, really. Aren't I cute? Now I've got the matching hairstyle to go with my 90s dress. Right, let's go read a bit more of this. David's out of the bath. He's feeling not good. But we are 24 hours into taking not ibuprofen, antibiotics. Shall I have a look and see how long it normally says for him to kick in? Mm-hmm. He can't talk, so he's just doing a lot of nodding and shouting. Nodding and shouting, no shouting, nodding and shaking head. How long does it take for antibiotics to work? Oh, God. It says here 3 to 5 days, David.
Okay.
We're 1 day in, so. And this one says 2 to 3 days.
Right.
Not today then, maybe.
No.
But David doesn't feel like he slept at all last night. He can't sleep because his throat is so sore. And he can't really breathe out of his throat. And he's very bunged up. It's all happening for him. He's having a horrible time. So I'm going to do some relaxing reading. He's also in the throes of a sweat at the moment. Of Nigel Slater's 7th of November, which is A Trip to the Forest and Those Nudie. So in my last 6th of November, he made some nudie. Also, they've got such lovely food photography in here, look at that. And then we've got a seat at the pantomime. We're going to a pantomime this year, I'm quite excited about it. Right, okay, we're going to put on this twinkly Christmas music. Oh, careful, Minnie. That's a bit loud, isn't it? And here we go. 7th of November. A Trip to the Forest and Those Nudie. A couple of Novembers ago, I was asked to choose the Christmas tree for Trafalgar Square. Well, I helped. We filmed the occasion for television. We had taken the train to Flam in Norway, a small village and port at the end of Sognefjord, the world's deepest fjord. It's easy to worship this landscape with its crags, forests and crashing waterfalls. By turns lush with forest or stark in tones of charcoal, grey and white, it is both somehow melancholy and invigorating. The latter especially when you poke your head stupidly out of the carriage window and feel the bite of icy air on your face. When I went to the shop to get David some ibuprofen and picked up a few provisions, I was trying to work out, I thought we had a Gousto coming tomorrow and we don't, so I'm trying to work out what we're doing for the weekend. Zip that up. Take my coat off and put it in here. Oof. So, more exciting news. Just as David was sort of laying on the sofa, as I was reading a bit of Nigel Slater, knock, knock, knock goes the door and a parcel arrives for me from Matsudai Ramen, which has very, very much excited me. And Jen had said to me, are you in on Friday? Because I've got a present coming for your birthday. It's not even my birthday till the end of the month, so this is a lovely early present. And it was a bloody ramen delivery, so I'm so excited. I've already opened one of them. I'm going to have this for lunch today, and because David doesn't think his throat can handle the noodles, I'm getting it all to myself. So it is for, I've downloaded the recipe. As I said, this is the company. If you're looking at sending ramen to anyone you love, she's opted for the vegan tonkotsu ramen kit, which includes a rich combined dashi and oat milk soup with shiotari, garlic and nigi oil, noodles which are the thin hakata style, organic tofu chasu, spring onions, oh that must be the oil, spring onions, hold on, we're getting more out, oh, this must be the broth, oh my god, I'm so excited to eat this, spring onions, and then some pickled items, which is kikurage, which is wood ear mushrooms, which look delicious, and beni shoga, which is pickled red ginger. Do not worry, all of this is biodegradable, so it looks like a lot of plastic, but it's all biodegradable. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna have for lunch, and as I said, David doesn't want it, so he is having a can of chicken soup, which is in here. Not mushroom, chicken, which she's just going to do. But I also bought, while I was at the shop, ibuprofen for David, 4 reduced apples. I'm trying to lower my amount of apples that I'm buying that get shipped in from the other side of the world. These have literally come from Chile. So I was trying to offset that against food waste. So then 2 lemons, so I can do him lemon and honey, because he's quite, excuse me guys, gunky in his throat, and I wondered if maybe that might be dissolved by a bit of lemon and honey, because we've been trying to sort of warm it up with a bit of tea and it doesn't seem to be doing anything. And then I just got him a little toffee yoghurt because I thought it just might be nice to have some sugar. And anything chocolatey is always a bit nasty on a sore throat. And 2 bottles of Lucozade, although I'm sure there's enough sugar in that. So I'm going to make David's lunch first. Then I'm going to make my vegan tonkotsu. God, I'm so excited about it. I bet it is delicious. What a lovely gift. I'm so excited. And then maybe we'll watch something on telly while we're eating that. And then I'm going to go back and read a bit more of The Herd. I listened to a bit of my audiobook on Libby as I was walking to the shop. As I said, I'm listening to Amy and Lan by Sadie Jones. I've very much enjoyed this. It's about a few families living on like an organic small holding, I suppose, and the family's interactions with each other, but it's all told from the perspective of 2 10-year-olds, Amy and Lan, and one chapter's told from Amy's perspective, one chapter's told from Lan's perspective, and it's so sort of like nostalgic, and there's obviously a lot more sort of like grown-up stuff involved with living on a small holding and trying to make ends meet and stuff like that, but the kids aren't so much aware of that, or what they are aware of is never the finished story. So it's really interesting hearing about it from this point of view. And there's somebody who also lives on the small holding with them who they always thought had polio, a single guy who lives on his own, and it turns out that it wasn't polio, it was bipolar. So there's like discussions into mental health, and like it was so sort of apt, I guess, or just so normal for a child to hear something and think it was one thing and then it wasn't. And there's really great descriptions of like the seasons in here as well. Like, I cannot recommend it enough. I think it's lining up to be one of my favourite books of the year. But yeah, so I've got 2 hours 41 of that left, so I'll listen to a bit of that while I'm making the lunch. But yeah, I suppose I better get on with heating up David's tin of chicken soup. Well, it looks absolutely delicious, but it is a bit hot because you have to put the bowl in the oven with the aromatic oil in it, David. And also, because I've got 2 lots of this, I will be more careful with the egg in the next one, because the egg is in there, but I picked it up with tongs and I should have picked it up with... I need something to lean this on. I'm going to watch the first episode of season 5 of The Crown. It's called Queen Victoria Syndrome. I'll let you know. We've done well to hold off this long, David. I think it came out on Wednesday. Oh my God, the ramen was amazing. It was so nice. I'm speaking quietly because David's trying to sleep in the bedroom. And he didn't get much sleep last night, so hopefully he's got to sleep now. He had some chicken soup and some of my noodles in his soup, actually. And then, I mean, it's been over 24 hours now, so hopefully the antibiotics are starting to kick in, and he had some ibuprofen once he'd eaten something, so let's continue to do a bit more reading of The Herd. I'm 56 pages in. I did, what did I say, 100 pages I wanted to do today. That's completely achievable. I might go make myself a cup of tea. I think I'll do that. And then I'm going to get a bit, I can hear him snoring. Like, not snoring, but like... That's all. I mean, that counts as snoring. He was doing that in here earlier when I was reading, and when I said to him, well, you were asleep, you were snoring, he said, no, I wasn't. So I'm hoping he can get a couple of hours sleep. First episode of The Crown, by the way, was very good. The 5th series of The Crown. I thought it was really good. Although I do wonder why do they keep casting people as Charles who are much fitter than him. Like, I don't know why. But Elizabeth Debicki, who's playing Diana, seems amazing, like really good. And the 2 kids they've cast as William and Harry are perfect. Yeah. Itchy Hill. I'll go make a cup of tea and do a bit more reading, I think. I did a little bit of tidying up as well, so that made me feel a bit better. I'll do some more when David's woken up, so I'm not clouting around. The good news is David's turned a bit of a corner in terms of not feeling very well. He's not feeling better. I need my chair. But he is feeling better than you did this morning, correct? He's just had a piece of bread, which is the first thing he's eaten that isn't liquid, which is very good. Now, the bad news is, however, that I have only read 78 pages of my book, and I said I wanted to read 100 by the end of today. But I will read, that's the wash-in, by the way. I will read 100 by the end of today. It's only 22 more pages, and I will do that. But I have just watched 3 episodes. God, they're really going for it, that washing. Just watched 3 episodes of The Crown. Very impressed with The Crown so far this series. I think they've cast it well. Well, Elizabeth Debicki's cast very well. Leslie Manville's cast very well. Imelda Staunton, I think, cast well. Not so impressed with the casting of Charles and the Duke of Edinburgh, but we'll see. I've seen a mere glimpse of Camilla, and it looks like they've just got Camilla to play it, so that does look amazing. But I'm about to embark on some cross stitch. I wish I could show you the cross stitch, but the truth is that it's a secret project for my wedding, which I will show you after maybe, but it's a secret for my guests, so I can't really show you anything. But I started it last night. How many hours do you think I did last night, David?
Maybe 4?
4 hours, and got quite a bit into it. And I plan to do the same tonight. We've got Hunty P coming up. David has bought for us to watch tonight, which I'm ever so excited about. That's the way. No. More. How do you what's it called? How do Joe Lycett it? Joe Lycett's one of Joe Lycett's stand-up comedy routines, and we really like Joe Lycett, so we're looking forward to watching that. Then we've got I'm a Celebrity. It's also Gogglebox tonight, so it's a night in front of the telly, which for me, I've said to David, anytime I'm in front of the telly, I'm going to be doing this cross stitch thing. And I couldn't really do it when I was watching The Crown because there's a lot of subtitled stuff in there. God, it's taken you ages to fill this out, and it's TV. David's just logging into his Twitter account so he can pull up the Joe Lycett thing that we've bought. He's bought. So yeah, so that's the plan for the rest of the evening. We'll read this before I go to bed and answer the question and read you a poem, because I'm going to get this whole vlog done in one day, which I'm feeling very pleased about. I do need to put a chair up because I need to have a chair here because this space isn't enough here, but yeah, that's the plan. I guess I'll see you a bit later on. Wish I could show you some cross stitch that I would have achieved in that time, but I can't sadly. Well, 4 episodes of The Crown, 5 episodes of The Crown, an episode of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of It, an episode of Gogglebox, and dinner later, and I've been absolutely smashing it at the cross stitch. I'm in bed, ready to go to sleep. David's had, this is the first night David and I have returned to our almost marital bed. Last night, I slept on the sofa till about 3 in the morning, then he came in and said, I'm not sleeping, you sleep in the bed. Just because he snores a lot anyway. And when he was like snoring and being poorly, I didn't want to keep being like, stop snoring. So I slept on the sofa night before last, slept the whole night on the sofa, then woke up and came in here and he was asleep. And then last night I slept till about 3, and then we did a little swapsy. But we're giving it a go tonight. He actually says he's feeling a bit better. He's just brushing his teeth at the moment. So back in bed, we'll see how we get on. But let's answer the question and then I'll read you the poem. If your favourite English teacher were to visit your home, if your favourite English teacher were to visit your home, what book would you want them to find on your coffee table? So my favourite English teacher is a teacher from year 6, and it always amazes me how much I remember so much about Miss Fleming, who was my year 6 English teacher. She was also head of year in year 6 and used to do our assemblies, and was just an amazingly sort of like cool but very normal woman. And I remember the assemblies, and it was my first sort of like insight into teachers just being normal people and just wanting to have a laugh with their mates. And that's what every single assembly that Miss Fleming and the other teachers in year 6 used to sort of do. I remember like them wheeling each other around in bins and just absolutely creasing up and giving each other awards and things like that. And I remember like really looking forward to assemblies every single week, which is not something you can often say for an English for a teacher, or for assemblies even. And then knowing that I also had Miss Fleming for English was so exciting, because it meant I got to see her every day. So I was always really excited. And she was so encouraging of my reading. Like, I remember finding work recently that I'd done in year 6, and the way she'd like marked it and like encouraged me to read it, and I'd sort of like write her back little notes and say, oh, I've read this book and I think you would like it because of this and stuff like that. So it's so wonderful, isn't it, teachers, like, and how much they stay with you. Because that was like, I mean, how old am I in year 6? 11. That was like 20 years ago. And I still remember her so well. And yeah, she, like I say, she was just so encouraging of my reading. And when we used to go around, I remember some of English lessons, we used to like read aloud, and she'd say like, read as much as you want aloud. And I love reading aloud, and I've always loved reading aloud. And she never stopped me. She never thought, oh, well, one page or one paragraph's enough. She let me read aloud for as long as I wanted to, and then pass it on to the next person. And yeah, she was just a wonderful, wonderful person, and really encouraging reader, and really, really loved being taught by her in year 6, which was lovely. But the actual question is, if your favourite English teacher were to visit your home, what book would you want them to find on your coffee table? And the truth is I think she'd just be elated that I felt I had any book on my coffee table. And I also think she'd be really elated that this is something that I do now. I make videos about reading and about books, and I've just sort of like taken my, what did I used to call that? My reading portfolio or something, and made it into like a YouTube channel. So yeah, I don't think there is a specific book, which is a bit of a cop out of the question, but I've really enjoyed thinking about her and how much she encouraged me to read. And yeah, it's been really nice to revisit those memories as a young year 6 girl. So yeah, if you do have an answer to this question, please let me know. If your favourite English teacher were to visit your home, what book would you want them to find on your coffee table? Or if you would just like this as an opportunity to shout out one of your teachers, if it was your English teacher and if they were encouraging of reading and stuff like that. Would love to hear about it, because I love the answers to those questions. Anyway, we're almost at the end of this book, guys. We're almost going to go on to a poem for every win today. But today is the 11th of November, which is Remembrance Sunday here in the UK. So both of these poems are very much sort of like the poems that I did at school. Not particularly when I was at middle school, which is the teacher that I was talking about there, but in secondary school I remember doing a lot of war poetry. So both of these are familiar, either because I've heard them or because I have studied them. I also went to school in a town which is twinned with a town in Belgium which had a lot to do with the Second World War. So there was a lot of war links. Was it the same for your school, David, when you were at school? A lot of stuff to do with Remembrance Sunday. So yeah, so the options are The Soldier by Rupert Brooke or In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. I think I'll go with In Flanders Fields. It's quite a famous one. You may well have heard it before. And John McCrae was a Canadian doctor who served as a lieutenant colonel in the First World War. This poem was published in 1915, and its immediate success led to it being quoted in propaganda as part of the war efforts. And it actually references the red poppies that people wear at this time of year. So, in Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely sing and fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you the failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, and ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. So there we go. That almost rhymed with the end of the poem. Minnie, say bye-bye. David, say bye-bye.
Bye.
Throat's so sore. And I'll see you again soon for another reading vlog and another booktube video. Bye!